Hello, Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. Today's date, it's April 14th of 2021. I had boxed up, actually. I hadn't put it in a box, with shipping tape on it or anything, but I was ready to see which, oh my gosh, here, let's see which, uh, okay, I only got one camera going, and I think I've got, yeah, that's not going to work out. This one, camera over there is not going. Maybe I can, wait a minute, maybe it's, no, everything is a mess right now. I, anyway, I think I have corrected the audio problem, so I'm not going to send it back. I was going to log into Amazon. I put it in the box here, and I was going to log into Amazon and tell them that I was returning it. But I think I have got it working correctly. I guess we'll find out here with this video. Things are just sort of a mess, because I hooked this Beeline mini PC backup to check the audio again. And so then I've decided, okay, I'm going to, and Microsoft Office, or whatever it's calling itself now, has changed everything around, and they said, you want to, do this new update of the way we've improved things, and I went ahead and did that. And I mean, everything just seems to me why can't I get marijuana or Valium or lithium? Is it lithium? What were those two things back then that everybody loved, and now you can't get them? I mean, you can get them, I guess, if you're a celebrity or whatever, but Valium was one, and the other, man, doctors were, I guess, writing prescriptions no matter what you came in for. My toe hurts. I'm afraid to fly, afraid to try, and whatever it was you could get. I guess I came in with that. I went, okay, I'd have been 26 plus 6. I'd have been about 32 years of age. And I started having chest pains, skipping a heartbeat, actually, which they explained to me, no, it doesn't, you're not skipping. What happens is your heart beats a normal beat, normal beat, normal beat. What would happen to me was normal beat, little tiny beat, and then the heart would skip because the heart thought, okay, we did but they did it right away, so. Anyway, I got a prescription of vial, and took a couple Valium, chest pain went away. 6 years, I still had the Valium. 6 years later, I started having the chest pain again, and I took a couple Valium. Pain went away immediately. And then, forget what it was. I think I still had, no, I think I finally threw that prescription away. I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years later, I had some type of chest pain or something. I went to the doctor. I don't think I went for that. But anyway, I was at the doctor's, and I said, well, I'm having this chest pain and whatever. And I said, I explained what I did. And Valium worked great. I'm sorry, we don't prescribe Valium, or they mentioned the other one too. We don't do that. Too many people are addicted to it. Too many, whatever. But it works for me, and I had the same prescription vial for till it expired, way expired. It expired a long time, and I took one or two, and it worked. No, we don't give you. This female officer, who, instead of pulling out her taser, accidentally, for some people can say, it wasn't an accident, it was premeditated, no. Instead of pulling out her taser, she mistakenly pulled out her handgun and killed a guy. I saw a news story the other day talking about this type of situation. And they mentioned the one in California where the Transit Authority in California, I guess Los Angeles, I don't know. The Transit Authority police were restraining a guy. They had him down, and there was an officer there, and he was fighting. The guy was down, but the police were trying to hold him down, I mean, I don't think he was going to go anywhere, but he was right there with the transit, next, and the doors were opening, and because trains are coming in and stuff. But the Transit Authority pulled out not the taser that he thought he was pulling out, but pulled out his handgun and shot the guy. And he knew immediately that it was a mistake, and he said he was sorry. And I mean, right away, oh my God, And according to the newspaper or the CNN story or whatever I saw the other day, he got, for manslaughter, 4 years in prison. And then there was another incident, the same type of a situation, where an officer pulled out, thought that he was pulling out his taser, but pulled out his handgun and killed a person. And that officer got 2 years in prison for manslaughter. So I think, although there's a lot of hostility and a lot of stuff, but I'm going to guess that she's already resigned. She was a police officer for 26 years. She won't be she'll never work as a police officer again, or a security officer, or her career is over, and probably there'll be a lawsuit, and people will collect money. They'll go for the big bucks first, but they will sue everybody, just in case. And they'll sue her. She probably doesn't have any money. She's probably like the rest of us, has enough money to pay the rent and buy the groceries, and that's about it, So, let's see. It says here, black drivers are trying to protect themselves during traffic stops. Please don't try to protect yourself by refusing to get out of the car. Please don't try to protect yourself by running, fleeing from the police. Please don't try to protect yourself by, hollering at the police and refusing to do things, or please don't have people that are in the car with you who are saying, I've got this on my cell phone right now, and whatever. Please just, hey, whenever I got stopped by the police, and if it was night, I turned on the dome light inside the car, and I kept my hands on the, and then when the police officer came up and said, I said, I'm going to get my, I'm reaching for my billfold now, So I don't know if it will, I guess I guess the family's going to have to do that for black and Hispanic and any other minority or anybody of dark skin or whatever. I guess it's going to have to be mom and dad, telling the kids, here's what you do. I haven't watched this trial at all, or not this trial, the one that's whatever's going on now. But one of the things I know that I mentioned to somebody about the thing is that the crowd, the people who gather and then are yelling at the police and stuff like that, and the person my ex-wife, she said, well, there wasn't a big crowd. And I said, well, I walked through here when, you're watching TV or the news, and I said there were a few people there and they were yelling at the police. I said, that does not help. That, that makes the police feel like they're maybe going to be under attack. Makes them also, what's the thing from the Simpsons? Was it the Simpsons? The cart, respect my authority. Little boy on the, that I've seen like on YouTube. I'm not sure so much on regular news, but on YouTube I've seen police officers are trying to deal with the situation. Somebody is fighting, resisting. I remember this one, and the guy is, I think it's probably at his home. I mean in the streets, but or outside, but he's fighting with the police, and there's a crowd of people that are around. There's one of the officers who's trying to keep these people, stay back, get back, stay back, and they're, they'll move back a little bit, and then they come forward, and then the other ones are coming over, and he's one guy trying to keep him, officer, because the others are fighting this guy. And then I don't know if it was this guy's wife or if it was, a girlfriend, but she has her cell phone, and she is right up there within, she could reach out and touch the officers who are, and then she's yelling and screaming, I don't know, I'm recording all of this, you're going to be, and that does not help. Just, whatever it is, you have the contact with the police. Now this was just, I think in the last week, a second lieutenant from maybe, I don't know, maybe he's a first lieutenant in the Army is traveling, and oh yeah, that's right, they just fired, it just happened a few days ago, I think a day ago maybe. He was in uniform, a Army officer, and he was black, by the way, and he was stopped by, well, I know the one officer I could see was white. I can't remember about the other guy, but I'm sure he probably was white too, because I think it was in Georgia, but the one officer has his gun pointed at him, and the officer, the military officer, he has his hands out the window, no weapons, Why did you stop me? Why did you stop me? I'm not sure, anyway, nobody was hurt or killed. Well, of course, the officer sprayed the officer with mace. But it turns out the officer stopped. I think the officer was saying to the military, the person in the car, why did you stop me? Why did you stop? And I got a pretty good idea why he was stopped. Anyway, the reason he was supposedly stopped was for not having a tag on his car or having an improper tag on his car. And it turns out, no, the police officer was wrong. The tag was perfectly, I don't know if it was from another state or that confused the, whatever it was. So that officer was fired the next day after the incident. But even in that case, you know, they, instead of the officer saying, you know, over and over again, I believe, and I didn't watch the entire thing, but why did you stop me? Why did you stop me? Why have I been stopped? You know, he should have just, I guess, yeah, sure. Well, why did you stop me, officer? And that could be it, you know, okay. Let the officer write the ticket or do whatever it is, and then when you show up in court, that's the place, you know. And then hopefully you don't have people in court. Of course, there weren't any, I don't think there was any people there that were, I don't know, but I've got 4 children that are all grown. And they're all white, but you you know, you still worry, you know, about them, that something is going to, you know, something's going to happen, but not to the extent of, you know, somebody who, well, I have a, well, let's not get in, I'm looking at this here. X-Men. Okay, now I guess at this court case that's going on now, I can't believe how long it's gone on. Can't believe also some of the. It seems like the testimony, the stuff belongs in a civil case, a lawsuit for money. Although that family already, the city already, I think $32 million the family was given before, and there was some concern that, hey, this large payment immediately, almost immediately, is going to somehow cause a problem with the, you know, with the fair trial. And I'm guessing, I didn't read anything about that, but I'm guessing some people would say, well, that shows that he is guilty, that the police officer is guilty, because the city already paid $32 million. Then I could see other people saying, well, the family got $32 million, so what are they so upset about? You know, I just don't know how it's going to, how would it play out, you know. Two, we're having this thing of experts giving testimony. And I have complained, I think, on these YouTube videos someplace, and before that on a written blog that was on the internet. I've complained about that. This bullshit about, I don't care what the handwriting analysis, EK, or not EKGs, lie detector, all these things. If you have, and of course a lot of the times the people who have been arrested or being tried or whatever, they just have a, you know, public defender, and there's no money to bring in expert witnesses. Otherwise, what you have, when you have some, you know, expert witnesses come in, I don't care what the subject is. It can be blood splatter, you know, it can be all types of things. You will get expert witnesses in parentheses, on both sides. Not the handwriting, no, I'm in it, you know. And all those people are paid, and some of them, that's their job. They get, you know, a doctor, you know, that maybe a doctor that's old, or a doctor that's not too good that you wouldn't want to, have it operate on you or something. They show up as expert witnesses, and whoever has the money, and that's fucking crazy. They shouldn't be rewarded for, and that shouldn't be a job for them. We want justice. We don't want people. And so what they need to do is come up with the judicial system, the courts or something. Okay, these are people that we can call upon as expert witnesses. But because you have, in all these cases, you have, whether somebody's signature or what, oh yeah, I'm an expert. This was not signed by so-and-so. The other side, I am an expert witness, blah, 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 here's my credentials. This was signed by, that's crazy. Something needs to be done about it. So, why don't they listen to me? I don't know. Now, I did walk through the room the other day here, and the trial thing was going on, and what was it they had? Forgot already. When I started to tell you what it was, now I forgot. Oh, yeah. They were talking about, all of a sudden they were talking about, okay, well, the police officer on Floyd, I think it is, situation. Yeah, because I'm looking up here at the screen. They had an expert on lungs, and he said, okay, Floyd was dead at 3 minutes and, I don't know, I'm not sure exactly, 3 minutes and 50 seconds, but the police officer kept his foot on, or knee on his neck for 9 minutes or whatever, whatever it was. And I'm sure I understand. I'm not somebody I'm the exact opposite. I'm not somebody who's opposed to, I'm not a Republican. So I believe in science, and but I don't know, and I don't know if that's a good idea, because you have a jury hearing this thing, and if all you need is one person on this jury, 1 out of 12, who says, nah, I don't think the police officer is guilty. Just takes one. And I think there might be somebody on there, more than one maybe, might be on there, and they've been listening to this diligently and trying to figure out everything. And then it looks like, wait a minute, this guy, now he's a doctor, and they say he's a lung expert and everything, but I don't think that he can tell by looking at the video. And I'm sure there was some other, they'll say, well, the pathology, the lab work or whatever, but still, I think this person might be on the jury and say, well, to himself, yeah, I think the police officer, did wrong, and that was really, but then this guy's going to be sitting there, and then when they start this stuff of expert witnesses coming in, and this guy might say, it looks to me like, and this could be where the money would come in too. Okay, well, the family got $32 million from the city, and then here's this police officer who is a law enforcement officer, who was out trying to do his duty and may have messed, but it looks to me like they're trying to, absolutely crucify and crush this guy. And the more this kind of stuff comes up, the more there may be some sympathy for this guy. And it only takes one, for the police officer, it only takes one person to say, "No, I don't think so. Not guilty." Now, of course, I'm not a member of the jury, and I haven't been watching this thing, but, manslaughter, yeah, definitely. I mean, definitely, I would say, but second-degree murder, no. Manslaughter, yes. And like I think I just mentioned, that a different situation, police officer shooting somebody with a gun, and instead of using a taser. But still, I think you'd be looking at, 4 or 5 years for manslaughter, or less. The family and the protesters and those people would be enraged, if this person only got X amount of, I was never in the military, and I've never been well, I've been places working in the inner city where there was gunfire going on all the time. But we live near a air base. It's a joint reserve air base, so we get quite a bit. And I think we're about 5 miles actually away, which that seems close to me, but I can't imagine how stressful and how terrifying it must be for people. Let's forget about the military for right now, but the civilians that are in, Lebanon or Iraq or Afghanistan, little kids, and to have, even that's just, just to have the plane come, be that loud and be that close to you. But just think when there are bombs and rockets and things like that coming out, how traumatic that must be. There's a few times here when for some reason I wasn't expecting, I just wasn't expecting, or my mind was on something else, and an aircraft came. I'm not sure if they're coming in or going out, but it was just so loud all of a sudden that I just kind of jumped for a second. Think how horrendous and how damaging that must be to. By the way, I've mentioned numerous times when things come up that I was, not in the military, and I wasn't in the military. But I did try to enlist twice, and they fucking threw me out. So. I've mentioned that. It was because I was 40 pounds out of the minimum weight requirement. But what I totally forgot about all those times, and I've mentioned this before numerous times, my hearing is bad, and it's been bad since the 1st or 2nd grade of school. And that never occurred to me. And not only that, my parents never did anything about it. And I can't blame them, because when I got out of high school and when the Army wouldn't take me, I went to work as a welder, and I had, it was a union job, and I had good pay, and medical insurance then was you know, pretty much paid for. As time went on, it just got worse and worse. And then I had to, then I had to start paying for, stuff. But and the benefits became, like prescriptions at the beginning were, okay, your prescriptions are, you know, taken care of. And then it was like, okay, well, you got to pay a dollar or $2 or whatever for the, and then it became, and then I was actually working at a hospital, and they said, I forget exactly how they did the cutting of the thing, but it was like, okay, you can buy, you don't have any pharmacy, coverage, except you can go here to the hospital pharmacy with your prescription, and you can get it for the price that the hospital pays to get the, the drug in or whatever. And that was, I think it turned out, yeah, if you used Tylenol, if Tylenol was what you needed, which is not a prescription required, you got a good price on it, compared to just going into CVS or Walgreens or someplace like that and buying it. But if you had to have a real prescription filled, you didn't get any big discount. Anyway, I guess I can end it. I was going to go through. I was going to tell you all the world, the news from all over the world. I think it's pretty nice that Prince Philip, the Queen's consort, because of the coronavirus and because of what else, they scaled everything down, and I think that's a good idea that they did that. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to stop now, and then I'm going to cross my fingers and hope that the audio is okay. I think I can hit, my hearing is really bad. And plus two, I have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, I hear crickets. I think that this PC, I think that sometimes the fan or the hard drive makes a little bit of noise. And I do have the microphone about 7 inches from it, which I shouldn't. I've got a couple booms, maybe I should do that, or I don't know. Anyway, let's cross your fingers because I don't want to send this PC back. But anyway, thank you very much for watching.